So my question is, in Surah Al-Baqarah, there's like a verse near the beginning where Allah says, basically, Allah has sealed their hearts and their ears and their eyes are covered. They will have great torment, right? This is talking about, I'm assuming, the disbelievers, right? How do we reconcile with this with free will? For example, Abu Lahab, it was told in the Quran that he's going to Jahannam, and then he died years later. So do these people have the free will to go to Islam, and are they accountable after Allah has said he has sealed their hearts and their ears? And does that make sense?
Yes.
That's my question.
Yes. So, Sh Fahad Tasleem, you want to attack this shubha?
Yeah, I had a feeling you're going to pick on me on this one. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So there's a couple of things that we need to understand. First of all, you mentioned it was from Surah Al-Baqarah. And one of the things that we know when we look at when Surah Al-Baqarah was revealed, it came post-Hijrah, which means that some of the people that are being addressed are people that the Prophet ﷺ was calling to Islam for, let's say, 10, 12, maybe up to 13 years. And so it's not that they came to the state, the Prophet ﷺ, this is the first time he's addressing them, and Allah says, we've sealed their hearts. So the first thing to understand is that it's not that it's the hearts are sealed, but the one way someone described it, to me was like, look, if you've ever thought about like when you have what's it called? And I'm trying to remember the term, but basically, if you were to cover your eyes for a very long period of time, you eventually would lose the functionality of being able to see. Okay? So what happens is the hearts are in the same way, that once they've gone through this period where they're just over and over and over and over again, eventually they're sealed. Like they're not functional. So what we have to understand is that specifically when you're speaking about the ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah, and there's other ayat that are similar as well. Surah As-Saf has an ayah like that, etc. But when we're looking at this, it's not that this is the starting point. In fact, this is the ending point where the Prophet ﷺ has been calling these people over and over, day in and day out, to Islam. And eventually, because of their own spiritual disease, it's from their perspective that they themselves have sealed off their hearts, right? And of course, the terminology is used, Allah has put a seal in their hearts, but that has to do with their own actions over time. So that's the first thing. Your second question related to, or second part of your question related to qadr, that do they have a free will? Of course they have a free will. There's no doubt about it. But like I said, it's by their own free will that they have taken this path. And because of that, their hearts have been sealed and their eyes have been blinded and so on and so forth. And Allah knows best.